What if Elon Musk never wanted to colonize Mars? What if in 2008 he had only saved Tesla? What if SpaceX never existed? China will be the top space power. We will be begging the Russians to send astronauts to the ISS, and the US would be competing with Europe to not be the last in this race. Thank goodness that the Russians didn't sell those rockets to Elon Musk when he was asking for them 20 years ago. Thank God that the fourth launch of the Falcon 1 was successful, and be grateful that the US is not paying twice as much to the old space contractors. If there is someone that still believes that SpaceX has not changed the industry forever, if there is anyone still arguing that what they have done is just thanks to NASA's money and luck, let's see what the world will look like without SpaceX. A world without the most innovative space company we have ever seen. A world where the US is no longer the top space power. We are just starting 2024, and last year was a record-setting year for space launches. We had 211 successful launches, and if we look by country, the US was responsible for 116, China for 67, and in third place we have Russia with 17. The usual stuff of the last few years. China rapidly growing, Russia in a downfall and the US continuing to dominate, while India is getting better each year and Europe is more lost than an octopus in a garage. But all of this is an illusion. The Russia launches are just the remnants of the Soviet era, and the China launches are inflated by a country that can do whatever they want with the 1.4 billion people they have. And the US numbers are also fake, as almost all of them are from the same company, and if we exclude SpaceX, the total US launches are only 18. From which 9 are launched from New Zealand, and count as US launches only because Rocket Lab is a US company. So what would the space sector look like if SpaceX was not there? Would the US still be in the top position without its best company? Not even close to the top. And anyone saying that if SpaceX didn't exist, the other space companies would have made the same amount of progress is just delusional. Boeing, ULA and the rest are doing their best, and their best is not enough, not even close. If SpaceX didn't exist, they would have even less incentive to innovate and to try to lower the cost to space and to provide new products and services. Imagine a world where the Crew Dragon doesn't exist, and the US only capsules are Starliner and Orion. How would the US go to the ISS? Starliner is almost 4 years late compared to the Crew Dragon, and it would be even more delayed without the competition. At least now we have something to compare, and Boeing has some kind of reputation to maintain, but without the competition, there will be zero incentive to do it fast. They will be milking the US taxpayer with the excuse that they are the only ones that can send astronauts to orbit. Or Biden would have to be begging Putin so that they can use Soyuz again. The Vulcan rocket was also 4 years late, and it was designed to compete with an expendable Falcon 9. It would have never existed without this competition, or it would have been done even later. And the same with Europe. The Ariane 6 is several years late and was also designed to compete with an expendable Falcon 9, a rocket that no longer exists, and they are still testing it. The European Space Agency has been launching with SpaceX since they don't have a launcher right now. Who would they ask it if not? The Russians after Ukraine? The Chinese? Let's be honest, the US space supremacy is thanks to a single company, and everything that they have accomplished during the past 2 decades. There have been many companies before that got more NASA funding, and they didn't get these results. There have been many attempts to revolutionize the space industry, and no one was capable to deliver. There have been many political programs intended to create jobs that have gone out of hands, like the SLS, which cost more than $2 billion per launch, and it doesn't look like it will get cheaper with time. No. If SpaceX was not here, the US would have lost its position a few years back, and China would be the dominant space power. They are the only ones keeping up with the pace right now, so it's obvious that they would also be in the leader position if the current leader was not there. Bill Nelson said that they are worried about China getting to the moon first, and setting moon bases in the South Pole. And if he's worried while having the most successful space company working for them, a company that sends 80% of the total mass to orbit each year, imagine how worried would he be if this company was not there. Maybe he wouldn't be worried at all, because he would have already admitted his defeat and settled for second place, or even trying to convince the Chinese to work with them or to pay them to send US astronauts to the moon. What is sure is that China would have no rival, and the US would be spending a huge amount of money with the old space contractors in order to maintain his reputation. But space is one of those things that cannot be solved only with money. You need talent, hard work and an environment that encourages innovation. And that's something that politicians, bureaucrats and lobbyists cannot do. They can only spend other people's money, huge amounts of it. But if it were a matter of money, the SLS would be the best and most innovative rocket of all time. And instead, we are paying $100 million for each one of its 4 engines that were already developed and built. That's what we would have without SpaceX, a China space supremacy, a US wounded ego trying to reclaim the top position, and all of the US contractors trying to milk the taxpayer money, claiming that they are the only ones that can save the country, and that for that they only need an unlimited amount of money. Thank God that the US attracts the top talent of the world, and that there is still many people that work very hard to accomplish incredible things, because we would be in a very bad position if it wasn't like this. Relegated to ask for help to China, India and Russia like the European Space Agency has to do, and seeing how all others innovate, while we are nostalgically remembering the old good days when the US was the space leader. Let's hope that not only SpaceX, but also many other companies continue doing hard work, and that this competition between countries drives innovation and progress, instead of bureaucracy and wasting money on useless things. As always, take care and learn more.